What's up, NZers?
Hi!
And welcome back to another family reaction video. Today we're going to be checking out something that I feel like we've done a few lists similar to this, but I don't like. It's always like on the flip side. It's always like what Americans do that like make people like weirded people out,
shock people or whatever.
That the rest of the world finds
focus
strange.
On the good today.
Yeah. So today we're going to check out 7 things that America does really well.
Only 7 though?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if we're gonna, if we've heard about any of these.
Okay.
But it'd be interesting to know.
Okay.
It feels like you're living the dream while also escaping the feds.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Lawrence. I'm from Britain and I live in the United States. And anybody that's seen my channel before will know that I absolutely love living here. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have feelings about the things that America doesn't do quite so well, just as I'm aware of Britain's shortcomings. But, I'm an optimist, and amid all of the criticisms that might be thrown at America, I often think it's important to remind myself of the things that America does well. I think amid the pandemic of the last 2 years and this sort of political division that's engulfed the country, it can be easy for us to lose sight of those details, those things that have made my stay in the United States an enjoyable one. So I'm going to outline some of them right here, right now, so that you can share this video from now until the end of time. Here are 7 things that the United States of America does really well. Yes, it's a little bit of a cliche because, everybody loves pizza. Even back in Britain, we like pizza, just not as much as we do in America. I lived in Britain for 26 years. I've lived in America for 14, and I've probably had 100 times more pizzas since moving here.
Well, I'm Italian, so I can't wait to try it.
Really well. I'm sure the Italians won't thank me for saying that. I'll caveat that by saying I do also love Italian pizza. I just love pizza in general. That's sort of a rule, isn't it? But America has many different styles, and of course I live in Chicago, so I am living in the place where one of its most famous pizzas was born. And if I'm in the mood and I haven't eaten in 3 days, a Chicago deep dish pizza is amazing. But, and this is the reason that I don't go out onto the streets of Chicago anymore, I actually prefer the Detroit style. I know, because the thing is with Detroit style, it's like Hufflepuff. Everybody thinks they're either Gryffindor or Slytherin, but I'm a contrarian by nature, so I always like to go for the third option. For me, it's not New York style or Chicago, it's Detroit.
Okay, I'm going to try Detroit.
Side eye as he says that.
Food, but I felt like I had to include this one. Not many things beat the feeling of waking up on a Sunday morning and making that decision to go to your local diner and have breakfast. For me, there's just a significant amount of warmth that comes with an American diner.
Can't wait to go to a diner.
It's the early morning chatter, it's the pour of the coffee, it's the omelettes and the hash browns, it's the seating booth, it's all of it. I mean, it just makes up for such a great atmosphere. And, we do have, of course, cafeterias and things like that back in Britain, but we don't really have anything that's precisely the same as an American
Neither do
diner,
we.
which is sort of a shame, because they also remind me of adventure, right? I always think of 2 film characters meeting in secret to plot the overthrow of the villain who's come to annihilate the city. I mean, that's why I go to diners. Streets. This might seem like a weird answer, especially since, of course, we have streets in Britain. And to some extent, I miss the streets in Britain. There's character to the winding nature of them, and you can very much get lost just looking for the post office. Here, it feels like you're less likely to do that, and the orderly side of my brain appreciates that. Streets, firstly, of course, are laid out usually in blocks, so you have kind of rectangular streets. This is very much in line with my observations of America's fascination with rectangles. But it's not just that, right? It's the things that are on the street. Those fire hydrants that you see in the movies, it turns out they're real. And the house numbers seem to go on forever. It almost seemed peculiar back in Britain if the house number went into 4 digits. I don't know that I've had an American address that's had fewer than 3. Are there any Americans that live at, number 4 Washington Street? And streets as well. They're all named after presidents or places in America or types of tree. And I just love that continuity. I love saying things like, I'll meet you on the corner of Maplewood and Jefferson in 5. And there are always people walking their dogs on these streets, and they're usually super polite, and they'll look you in the eye and say, good morning, it's afternoon. I really couldn't have made this list without including entertainment. I mean, obviously that's quite a broad term, but I think in general terms, very few countries do entertainment like the United States. Firstly, I mean, America produces so much entertainment. You could be talking about music, television, film, and in each of those, there's just such a vast array of output. Now, don't get me wrong, some of it's crap. But when they get it right, which historically has been often, you end up with The Wizard of Oz, you end up with Star Wars, you end up with the Marvel franchise, Quantum Leap. I could go on, wrestling. You know, I thought about
Theme
including
parks.
this
Yeah.
under entertainment, but it seems as though theme parks deserve their own entry.
Absolutely.
That was a pun on entering a theme park. Now, over the years, Britain has had its fair share of theme parks, from Alton Towers to Flamingo Land to the M25, but America just has more of them. And of course, I think everybody knows about Disneyland and Disney World and Universal Studios and all of that. But after moving here, I realised, much to my intense happiness, that theme parks aren't just reserved for Florida and California, but can actually be found in many states. I think the first one I went to was Kings Island, just outside of Cincinnati. And I also went to Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana, and yes, that's a real place. And the strange thing is, I didn't go on many of the roller coasters because I have this overwhelming feeling that we're going to crash. So you might be thinking, what do you even get out of theme parks? And to me, it's the atmosphere. It's the balloons. It's the movie scores that play throughout the entire place. It's the hot summer days. You know, it's the interns dressed in a Yogi Bear costume. Come to think of it, that must be hell in July. But for the rest of us, it's great to meet
Oh, it
Yogi.
would be
and
so
friends.
hot.
People who watch this channel regularly know that I absolutely love parks.
National
Partly
parks?
for the opposite reason that I love theme parks, which now that I've said that out loud, I've just realised that theme parks are themselves parks. Anyway, the point is, it's the relative absence of people that makes them so enjoyable. This was even the case for me when I lived in Britain, where we have a boatload of parks, some of which have boats. But just like with theme parks, America has way more of them. And some of them are absolutely massive. There's one in Alaska that is larger than Northern Ireland and Wales combined. In fact, back in the day, I did a video about US national parks that absolutely dwarf their UK equivalents. I'll link to that at the end of this video. And there's sort of a hierarchy of parks here as well. You've got the sort of local municipal parks, you've got state parks, you've got national parks. Spoiled for choice because the United States is made up of a very diverse terrain. So you've got the hot springs at Yellowstone National Park, you've got the tree-laden mountains of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, you've got the Grand Canyon, and just 100 million other places. That is an exaggeration.
True.
There's a lot of them. And of course, you could fly to places, although not directly. You'd have to go to an airport. But
perfect
really, let's
country
be
for
honest,
road trips.
does that beat a good old American road trip? I don't think so. I love the open road in the US, and you know, some of that comes from the movies. Again, it's just like with the diner. It feels like you're living the dream while also escaping the feds.
Okay, I get it now. I get the
Billy
context.
Joel or something cool. You wind down the window and you just hit the gas, man. Not the gas man. You hit the gas, comma, man. It's amazing. And that open road, of course, really is open and long, with some highways spanning the entire country. And you see things on these journeys that you don't see from the air, and you certainly wouldn't see in Britain, like quirky roadside attractions, especially when you're on a historic route, or the terrain that I just spoke about. And taking road trips in Britain was never quite the same thing, because firstly, the country is nowhere near as big, and secondly, in the UK, you can get to most towns and cities by train, which is equally adventurous, but you can't really do that for the most part in America, because there isn't high-speed rail. That's an example of something it doesn't do.
Oh,
too
yeah,
much.
Yeah,
true.
true. I
It
never thought
embraces
about
all the
that.
things that it does, and that's road trips. That is it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the things that you think America does well. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at...
Yeah, okay, well.
Love that guy for a start.
Yeah, he's funny,
He's hilarious. Do we just get that humour because we come from
Probably.
British descent?
I think New Zealand's actually got quite a good blend of American and British humour.
Yeah, we do.
We can kind of get both of it.
Yeah, we do.
But I think if I can add something to my list, I don't think it's pizza. I think it's food in general.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Americans
Fast
just do food so good.
They do fast food really
Doesn't
well.
matter. Any food. Like,
Did your fingers click when you did that?
probably. It's extra
It sounded very like
effectful.
click.
Yeah, so I reckon you could go for like anything, fine dining,
Yeah.
like some of the best restaurants
I
in
want
the
to
world.
make a list of my own when I get back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
wait.
yeah,
After being
definitely.
there.
When
Yeah.
you talked about the street names, I was like, and like how long they are.
Yeah.
When I do like my orders and stuff, they have so many. It's like 1,570 B53, and I'm like,
Whoa.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why is your street so long?
Yeah.
We just have like 36, like
Yeah, that's it.
like
Goes up to
36.
a couple
36
hundred.
Barry Road.
Yeah. It's not like 5D5 apartment 6789.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, but I mean that's to be expected with a tiny little country with
Yeah.
not many roads, and
With little tiny winding roads.
we're all still using horse and cart. So.
There's no Wi-Fi.
Do you guys
or
even
internet.
have internet there?
Yeah.
Anyway, we can't wait to make our own list of this when we get back from America.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely do that.
We should.
Yeah. And,
We should take notes as we travel and be like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And let us know down in the comments what you think should be added to this list.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you disagree with one of the things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a bad experience on a
Or
roller
should
coaster.
we make a list on the opposite side as well?
Ooh.
Oh, is that
No,
negative?
Us in the car.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Anyway, guys, if you like that one, make sure you smash the like button. And if you want to know any more info on us, check out the description box below. And we love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.